I'll say this right now. Even though the animation this episode was a little off, it kind of made up for it by giving me a surplus of Han meme faces. I'm gonna need a new folder pretty soon. This week's episode opens with... would you keep it down? I have to record this stuff early in the morning. At least let me have my coffee. But yeah, Hana used the episode's intro as a means of practicing her very broken English now that she had an apparently foreign house guest. And on top of brainwashing her mom last week, Ruru managed to win Hana's trust by exploiting the one weakness we all have, saying that she was an acquaintance from a while back. Admit, at least once, you've run into that one guy at the supermarket who came up to you and said hi, and you had no idea who he was, so you just stood there like an idiot and said, "Oh, long time no see, buddy." And then you went home, dug yourself a hole, and then crawled into it. I have issues. Regardless, Han decides she has to make their new guest feel welcome, not realizing said guest was a spy. The next day at school, the most competent employee of Karasu is unsurprisingly able to excel at everything from literature to sports. Miyu Eldefeld is looking at this girl and calling hacks. And she also seems to excel at driving away any male suitors. Oh boy, I think the White Devil was ticked off by the fact that her Fatal Chan is part of a different team. Yet, the one thing she can't excel at is figuring out the source of Hana's strength and thus needed to dig further, not even realizing where this will lead. Meanwhile, as a means of getting close to her, Hana set up a welcoming party for Ruru, complete with a make-your-own-rolled sushi table. However, while her deadpanness was cute and kinda funny in the last scene, Ruru goes into full-on buzzkill mode. Ruru, remind me never to invite you to any parties at my relatives. My aunts would not take your comments lightly. As a result of this disaster, Ruru's interactions with her classmates, according to her own data, dropped by 80%, with the remaining 20% likely being covered solely by Hana, who was still trying to get close to Ruru. And did Hana shrink in between these cuts? Because she wasn't that far behind Ruru a second ago, and okay, now they're far apart.
Great continuity!
Or maybe this is symbolism on how much Ruru is trying to distance herself from everyone, then nah, it's just sloppy directing. Nonetheless, Hana continues to try and get close to Ruru. She tried suggesting to her dad that maybe next they should try going to an amusement park, which he responds by saying maybe she's taking this a step too far. While her heart's certainly been in the right place, Ruru has made it clear that she doesn't want any special treatment. And maybe rather than just as a house guest, they should start treating her like something else. Hana actually gets the hint and agrees with her dad. Yeah, we'll talk more about this scene during the closing thoughts. Right now though, it's Oshimaida time. Already tired over the fact that her espionage tactics weren't garnering her any new data, Ruru decided to call it quits and just do things the old-fashioned way. So she just off-screen got some random depressed teenage girl. Worst part about this episode was the fact we were deprived of her awesome summoning animation. Also, I'm guessing the victim of this week was a fan of 80s nostalgia. Already I like this guy more than any of the Bayformers, as well as most of the current gen. Damn it, Hasbro. Anyway, while certainly no technical masterpiece, this week's fight definitely benefited from a humorous highlight of Hana trying to recreate the plane scene from Spider-Man Homecoming. All the while, she was calling out for her new friend to make sure she was safe. Confused by her actions, Ruru decided to comply and somehow managed to enter into Hana's mind for a brief talk.
It's just like that movie that you keep crowing about. You talking about Inception? That's right, Morty. This is gonna be a lot like that, except, it's gonna maybe make sense.
Sure enough, Hana was able to raise quite a number of flags with Ruru with just her kindness and assuring her she'll stop overdoing it with the formalities and start treating her as an actual member of her family. I think Mana Ida has competition for Precure Harem King. Anyway, they defeat the Decepticon version of Cosmos, and in spite of her earlier declaration, Ruru decided to go back to living with Hana and her family. She says she's doing it to continue her research regarding the Precure, though I think that heart-shaped circuit board says otherwise. And thus, the episode ends the only way it can, with Hana and Ruru sharing a bed. So yeah, I think I found my OTP for the show. Oh, and this episode was pretty great too. I know that Ruru was already a popular figure in the fandom, and I can only imagine her popularity going up after this episode. What I really liked about her and this episode in general was her dry delivery towards almost everything, which led to some comedy gold. I'll say right now, I really like dry humor. It's why Modpai is one of my favorite characters in MLP, and why Hinamatsuri is one of my favorite anime of this season. Though on the flip side of that, they also showed how such could lead to her being a little bit difficult to deal with. Even though Purple hinted at something extraordinary about Ruru, fact is, there are people out there like her who can be frustrating to deal with unless you have a lot of patience. Luckily, she did in the form of the other star of this episode, Hana. While my opinions regarding her have varied recently, I can safely say she was back in form this week. While her attempts at getting closer to Ruru were all admirable, she did almost overdo it until she realized when you give somebody too much special treatment, that's actually kind of isolating them even more than before. Now granted, Hana needed some help from her dad to fully realize this, but hey, at least she did realize it eventually, which is more than what I could say for certain other Precure who will go unnamed. But yeah, because of this, the scene where the two talked in the clocked up world was truly beautiful in more ways than one. While the animation this week wasn't the best, at least they allocated it all into the right areas. Yukari Tama has been absolutely killing it as Ruru so far, and I look forward to more interactions between these two. Especially when certain developments that are hinted at in this week's title occur. Yes, I've been noticing the references to previous seasons in some of these episode titles, but never really brought them up because they weren't significant until now. Still working on the second part of my Kira Kira Precure manga review, but I'll try to get it out as soon as I can. And until then though, you can check out some of my other videos. And until then though, farewell for now my friends, and I don't know this number. Hello? Oh, hi there, buddy, Oh, I think we're losing connection. I'll be sure to call you back as soon as I can. Don't judge me.